Hello, mech fans. This is Duncan Fisher. Hold on firmly to your mana potions, fireballs, and familiars, because you are tuning in to your regularly scheduled episode of the First Circuit Podcast.
And with that, hello and welcome to the First Circuit Podcast, episode 99. Boy, has it been around 99 episodes already. Dang.
Yeah.
Your hosts today are Bida,
Blarg,
are Oldbob,
Hello.
and myself, Ian. I have no idea why I'm doing this.
I have no clue either.
For topics today, we've got
becoming a Wookiee.
Yeah.
I was thinking about pirate, but okay, I'm hairy enough. We're doing the Operation LangSkip event, the update to competitional play, the Mechwarrior Type 2019 rewards program, the patch notes for September patch, and in related news also the new Battletech RPG, which is part of the Battletech tabletop Kickstarter campaign. And coming up next, let's talk about the Operation LangSkip event. Bada, you're our event guy. Go ahead and summarize what we're looking at.
Okay, first things first, if there's any old bobs in the facility, just ignore the first challenge. We don't want to be here for 10 minutes.
Oh my god, no. No!
Bob, calm down.
And actually, when I saw this the
calm
first time,
down.
and my first reaction was, oh god, really?
Not again.
Yeah, well.
Hey, but you do get your advanced UAVs back.
eh,
Yay.
Mm.
And the premium time is easily accessible in the
No,
first
it's not.
challenge.
you gotta fight 11 other dudes.
But Bob, it's the first challenge. That's easily accessible, right?
You know how hard it was for me to get like one UAV? Dude.
Bob, alright. By that takeover.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Okay, so as ever, at least, yeah, Bob can enjoy shooting down UAVs, but at least it is paired with detecting with UAVs. So people will be popping up lots of UAVs and shooting down lots of UAVs. There's a whole bunch of little bits and pieces, that each give premium time, which is nice. But the copyright items, they're okay. But I think the biggest thing for this event is actually further down below, where it's all faction play related, which is just, do damage, get some solo kills. Basically, if you do well, if you're good enough at the game, you could do sort of like 10 matches of faction play and earn like 300 MC and 25 GSP. And I think that's the biggest draw of the event.
Yeah, GSP is actually really good.
50 GSP, I think. Yeah.
And it ends in 3 days, which is kind of interesting because the new patch notes has a whole bunch of stuff for faction warfare, but it's going to end with that on Tuesday. Interesting.
Yay, PGI timing?
They might have another event. They might have another one. Who knows?
They might.
As ever, I would love to do this faction play stuff if I could do scouting, but it's gone.
Yeah.
More or less. So it's all the big invasion mode where you have 4 drops. Every match takes roughly 20-30 minutes or so. It depends on the game type and whatnot. And particularly sometimes like the victories, it's a bit of roll of the die. But since you're doing 10 matches, you hopefully you'll get 2 hits in that time.
Oh, by the you're overestimating all of it.
So it's a fine enough event. It's the general challenges are not very interesting. It's only really worth if you're going after the faction warfare stuff. Well, I'm
But-
not sure about Operation LangSkip. Is that anything to do with the lore or anything? I can't find anything.
I have no clue, actually.
Neither could I. So either we are both bad at Googling or it doesn't.
I don't remember anything about LangSkip, especially against Wolf against the other Rascal. So who knows? Like, I'll look it up. If you guys know, let us know. I do have to say though, there has been a lot more faction play games, according to Twitter. Just listening to Twitter and not listening, but looking at the Twitter feed. There's been a lot more.
Well, they're doing the event, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, all doing the events and they're doing more stuff. So there are people playing faction warfare.
Good. I won't be stuck
You do
waiting
ever
for
need to
hours.
consider, Bob, that most of the people you follow on Twitter are content creators, so that might give you somewhat of a false.
Well, yeah, true. And when I hype it up, yeah.
All right. The second thing is just there's update post on the website about comp play. Since all of us are so interested in comp play, we have not really much a clue about what it is other than just it saying, yep, comp is going underway. You can still form a team. Things are going well. There's people in the queues, etc., etc.
Yeah,
Yep,
there's comp play.
Apparently, they've got at least 14 teams overall, so. Alright, I'm gonna be mean, but that's more than I expected, so.
But I know, like, Pseudo, Nighty Rat, and all those guys are actually trying to push a way more. So there is a lot of comp play. If you guys want to play a comp team or go put one together, you guys can still do it. There's a lot of people playing it still. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be this big. But it looks like the content creators are trying to push it as much as possible too. So that's a good thing.
As ever,
Yes.
at least the player-run competitions are way better than any of the stuff done by PGI, with much more dynamic and interesting and effective rule sets than just sort of anything goes or stock mode,
Yeah.
which has been PGI's approach when they've run official tournaments.
I
Yeah,
actually
so
like
I
stock
guess.
mode.
Yeah, I think stock mode was fun, but yeah, I guess for this one, just to wrap it up, you've got until October 14th to register your team, and you can take part of the normal competitive queue. And the top, what did it say? The top 11 teams in the competitive queue will move up to the semifinals, in addition to the ones that took part in the invitational earlier. So yeah, if you want to go do it, you still have a couple of weeks.
We got some time to go get some. And wasn't there like a lot of free stuff you got with comp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
A lot of free stuff. The question that still remains is if everyone in the top 500 of the competitive queue gets that stuff, or if you have to actually be one of those top 11 teams in the competitive queue.
I don't
That
know.
would be interesting to me. It's not easy to see in this post, so I guess that's something you should consider.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to try for it, go ahead. You still have some time. Queues are open on Thursdays and Saturdays.
All right, let's get on to the next big topic, though, is Mechwarrior Online 2019 Rewards Program.
Yeah, I was so excited when I saw it pop up, and then I read through it, and I was like, first really bummed out, then somewhat excited, and I guess I'm kind of neutral in it now. So to tell you guys what's happening, rather than the past annual rewards program where you qualified for a certain level and then you got a certain mech which is basically a unique hero, quote unquote, with the Siebel boost and unique loadouts, etc. This time you still get those tiers depending on how much money you spend, how much you played, etc. But you're gonna be able to pick mechs from past loyalist programs as well as hero mechs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not going to be anything unique for this year, but in exchange you are going to get some free hero mechs, which are usually fairly expensive. So there's that.
Yeah, obviously, of course, PGI is focusing on Mechwarrior 5, and to create new mechs, even if it's just you do another Warhammer with an energy loadout, which they've already done before,
Yeah.
they need to get somebody to do the skin, because that's always at least the thing, that they have a unique skin for the loyalty mechs, and they're not even sparing that. So in some ways, it's really, it's always cool to get something new. But in another way, it is nice to get an option. Like there's a lot more choice involved in this one.
Yeah. There's a lot of different mechs you can go and get.
Okay. I am just going to point out, apparently, the redemption site, where also your status, whether you qualify, is displayed, seems to be kind of bugged, because for me it's showing that I've played 9 games since November 15th, 2018.
That's it?
Which
Man.
is obviously not correct. So we'll see whether they post an update if that's actually broken, or if apparently I only played 9. No, I played more than that.
Yeah, for me it says 100 matches out of 100, so I can't say there's any issue on my end. But yeah, let's just go through the structure quickly. It's the same as previous ones, where it's play 100 matches will give you a bunch of C-bills, a mech bay, GSP, and a cupcake. So that's nice enough. If you buy, I think, what was it, MC or some of these dropship deals or whatnot. Again, I'm really sad that dropship deals, you can actually spend a fair amount of money, particularly if you buy assaults, and it's qualified. It's the same as buying the smallest bundle of MC, like 1,000 MC or whatever. But this only gives, was it one clan light, clan or Innisphere light mech. In fact, throughout the things, they're giving lights, mediums, heavies, and then just one assault, which is a pity because there's a lot of loyalty assaults back in the day. And to get one of those loyalty assaults, like the loyalty Atlas, the loyalty Stalker, those were before my time. I would really like it, but they're locked behind the ultimate reward, which again, just like before, it's the same old. If you buy a pack, yep, you get a medium mech. But if you buy an ultimate pack, the really expensive packs that really aren't really worth your time, you get a heavy mech. And if you get an ultimate pack for clan and Innisphere, only then are you getting an assault mech, which for me feels really bad because all I'm getting from this is going to be, of course, light mechs and a couple of mediums, but no heavies, no assaults.
But it is kind of nice though. You do get these mechs right then and there, so it takes a little bit for it to actually process through, but at least you get them. Unlike before, it was like, okay, 3 more months, you get these cool loyalty mechs, and we're just showing you now, so you're hopefully gonna spend some money type thing. So it is kind of cool that way. That's and that's nice.
Yeah. One thing to note, of course, is which ones should you choose? Now, the loyalty mechs are all of them are available for C-bills, if I'm not mistaken.
They should be, yeah.
Yeah, other than maybe
or
the
the
most
MC
recent
actually, like
year.
MC, right?
No. They
okay.
come out with C-bill variants.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
like there's a missile Irby, isn't there? That one came out as a loyalty mech, but you can in the store buy a regular C-bill Irby. The difference is, of course, this loyalty mech has a paint job and it earns you extra C-bills, and this is your only chance to earn that loyalty Irby. Whereas heroes, those are always available for MC. The game gives away MC all the time. But hey, getting more heroes is a nice way to get things done. But I think the most unique opportunity is, of course, getting old loyalty mechs if you did not get them in previous years.
Yeah.
But the way they've parceled this out, it means you're going to get a lot of coverage with lights and mediums, but it's really, you have to pay a lot of money to get those heavies and only one assault. And there's a lot of loyalty assaults or assault heroes. So yeah, I'm really disappointed in that personally.
It would be nice. I'll go on.
I would also like to add that apparently their spell or word proofreading is not all that great, because for the clan standard reward, it doesn't actually specify that you only get the medium. I would read it the way that you could pick any IS clan hero or IS clan loyalty mech. Wait, for the clan standard reward, you get IS stuff?
Which page are we looking at? Because I'm looking at the redemption page, which is
I'm looking at the post, and the reward for the clan standard is apparently one IS clan hero or IS clan loyalty mech.
One thing I'd say about this freaking reward thing is the main page in particular it's a super long wall of text trying to explain all the terms and conditions. And I mean, it's the same system they've done before, and at least I'm familiar with it. But just if you haven't seen it before, sitting down, reading through it, figuring out what the hell's going on is not really that fun.
I do wish they actually made it so it would say that you logged into your account, and let's say the blackjack or the arrow, right? I already had that for old Bob. If I pick that again and I redeem it, it's like, oh crap, this sucks. Have something that's there that's saying, hey, you already have this mech, and then even that, basically that way you can have a little pop-up screen saying what's on it, what the paint job looks like, what it just what it looks like and everything, and what the stats are. Instead, you really have to go to your game, go, okay, well, I don't have the blackjack, but I do have the high roller for the bushwhacker, for the standard like Innisphere reward. So it will be nice if they have like some type of pop-up saying, A, you have it, and B, what it is, that we can make an informed decision instead of getting the same thing.
Quick, I need to retract everything I said about the page being bugged earlier. I was logged into one of my Sanctuary accounts.
Okay.
The page is working fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It'd just be nice that way. I don't know. That's just me. It will help out new players when they actually go ahead and don't double up on their mechs, and then they gotta sell it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it being on the website. I would just like the website to have some kind of pop-up, which with modern technology is easy to do.
Modern technology? Wait a second here.
Yeah.
Also, there are, of course, little bits and pieces added on, and I haven't bought any MC packages or dropship deals, so I'm missing out on the pie is a lie or the cake is fake. Cake is a fake decals.
Yeah.
Also, I have to say the top tier rewards, if not the ultimate reward, they actually give you the standing/hanging items that give C-bill boosts.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty neat because, well, I guess though you could to get those things. Normally, to get those things, you have to buy like 2 ultimate packs. Well, now you have to buy 2 ultimate packs to get them anyway. But having more of them is nicer than so that if you have 2 favorite mechs, you can actually kit them up if you're that kind of whale. But the funny thing is, if you're that kind of whale, particularly with no new content coming out in the game like this, you're probably going to own a lot of these heroes and loyalty mechs from back in the day. So it just might not be that many options for you. But in the end, what can they do if they haven't got many options other than just give you all of this choice?
Yeah. Well, also too, it's really easy to do. They could, basically as far as putting this up and get it out there, it's already done. And so all they got to do is make a UI control for the page itself, because like we've been talking about, they've been working on Mechwarrior 5, and so everything's going towards Mechwarrior 5, making sure it's gonna be the game type thing. And this is just kind of like easy to do, to go and do it. And I understand that. I perfectly understand them popping this out, saying, okay, well, this is what we have, and that's it.
So yeah, in the end, it's okay. I'm really not wanting to buy any ultimate packs to try
No.
to justify these ultimate rewards. So as a means to try and get people to pay more, this of course is not really going to sparkle anyone's jollies, but it is what it is.
Sparkle anyone's jollies. I never heard that before.
Okay. We love the British.
Okay.
I think it's just Spark, but I called it Sparkle for some reason. Just made it more special.
Sparkly. Okay.
Next up would be the regular page notes then.
There's actually something here.
Yeah,
There's actually something really important here, but let's go over the faction play improvements.
Okay.
Bob, that's kind of your cue.
Oh, that's
go
me.
Ahead and go
Okay.
over it. Yeah. I want you to do something for once.
Oh, well, I'm doing the.
Oh God! Oh, I am
RPG.
so mean.
Oh God. Okay. So.
Oh, you could edit it now, Ian.
Yeah, Ian. There you go. I'll send you all the stuff. For the loyalty program that they have, they really didn't implement it back in the day. I think it was May or something like that, like somewhere around there.
Loyalist, not loyalty.
Loyalist program.
Loyalty.
Okay, loyalist program. Really didn't implement that. They said we were going to do it, and then they really didn't kind of jump into it and actually bring it out. So now, as a loyalist, when you actually become part of, say, your faction, like I'm part Lao or I'm part Davion or part this, so now you actually have bonuses when you actually do events. Now the event right now is a lag, the LangSkip like event, which is Rascal versus Clan Wolf. And so if you are part of Clan Wolf, loyalists earn 100% loyalty points payouts at the end of the match. So you get more for being part of that loyalty program. If you're not part of that, if you're say you're from House Lao, you get less, because the payouts are less because you're not really part of that faction. So it'd be like 80%. And so it works out. I kind of like this. It's kind of cool. So when something does pop out, like say your event, like, Clan Wolf versus Clan Jade Falcon, or, Steiner versus Davion, like whatever, basically, it will actually, you get paid more for being part of a loyalist of that faction instead of just the 80%. That's kind of cool. I definitely do like this.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you earn slightly different amounts depending on which side you fight on and whether it's your faction or how your faction is aligned with the others. It's okay. At the end of the match, I've got some number of C-bills, some number of XP, and some number of loyalty points earned, and it will be slightly larger or smaller depending on outside circumstances that I have to look up on a table to figure out. Does it really make the game that much more fun, worthwhile playing? I don't personally think so, but it's a thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's a thing that's there. It's more to keep people into the loyalist factions. Because I know, like, once they actually stopped or having queues of everyone's like, basically you can fight each other, say House Loud versus House Davion. Once they stopped that queue, at least in my own opinion, this is just me. I think the loyalty for factions pretty much died out, and faction warfare kind of started taking a tumble towards people actually wanted to play faction warfare. And once it became QA versus QB, which is Intersphere versus clans, based off the dwindling numbers of Mechwarrior Online, it pretty much took a tumble from there. And this, in my own opinion, brings some people like back into it. I'm part of House Davion or House Loud, like whatever, basically. And so it puts more personal ambiance into like I'm Davion or I'm this faction, and so basically it brings more like into it. And I think it's good. It's better than
even if
nothing.
they implemented this kind of system where you earned slightly more or less XP depending on whether you're playing, directly for your faction or an ally of that faction, I still wouldn't really particularly care. It's
Well, yeah.
just a number at the end, and you're filling, particularly with, loyalty points. It's filling up a big, huge bar. Takes forever to fill, and eventually you get some token rewards.
Now, did they actually say what they actually have for loyalty, or is it just the same stuff they had before?
Isn't that the old stuff where you get the mech bay for a couple 100 points and so on?
Okay, then if they don't change it, then that's garbage. Basically they should change it to some other type of loyalty type stuff. Like instead of just what they have now, some new things like war horns or like whatever, basically. Yeah. So if they don't change it, I don't know if that's going to be part of this patch or next patch or the next patch after that, like whatever. It'll be better if they actually change it to some other type of loyalty stuff for being a loyalist inside your faction.
Yep. So they've done some thing that changes the rate of loyalty point accumulation, and it exists.
Yeah.
That's as far as I care.
It's there. And
so next up for the faction play would be the call to arms pop-up, which is something I always disable whenever I log into my account on UPC. But
Yeah.
this change makes it actually somewhat useful. So the call to arms now only pops up to all players that are currently not aligned to the overpopulated faction in a queue. So it's only gonna call people to arms that actually have a chance of getting into game and are going to improve the queue, which I like a lot. And who knows? I'm hoping it will help. I think it's certainly better than what we had before, and I'm optimistic that this small change might actually make a difference. Maybe I'm overly optimistic. Who knows? But I like it.
That's my job, man.
Yeah. So sorry, Bob. You be the pessimistic today.
Okay.
If the feature is used at all, it is actually to help the health of the game rather than just sort of I'm bored in the queue and not enough people spam the call to arms button.
Yeah, it definitely it's a helpful thing that they need because faction warfare doesn't have a lot of people playing in it. So it's definitely a good thing that they put this in. So it's fine.
And speaking of things that are good to put in, a faction play intro pages. Apparently in-game there's going to be some introduction to how faction play works and what roles there are and so on, which are going to be added next page. And I guess we're going to talk about that next
time
episode.
Actually,
well, not next episode, but next time we talk about the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
because we're going to have to see how it's implemented, how in-depth it is, and so on.
Yeah, true. We'll check it out. We'll have to go play some faction warfare then.
No, you just have to open it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's how they present the information. It wants to be there to get new players into the game and help them understand who the factions are, because there was sort of those banners you could click on and it sort of gave a description of the factions, but it was a wall of text and it was sort of just this one has a sword on it. Well, swords are lame. I'm going to go over with this one.
Hey, no, don't you dare. I call that. I'm gonna challenge you to it. No, wait, that's the wrong faction.
Yeah.
Hey, don't. They are Jade Falcon units that have swords.
Yeah.
I'm gonna challenge you to a trial of grievance.
Oh, jeez, you planner guy.
Enhance vision. Okay, no.
Okay. So
we talked about they need more lore and there's some more hopefully some more lore and introducing people to the game, which is an improvement,
Sure.
hopefully.
Yeah. So let me get to the really exciting part of these patch notes.
Go ahead.
So apparently for the last couple of patches, the exciting things have been under bug fixes and improvements. So this time we're getting the damage taken stat in the end of round screen. Oh my god. I've been waiting for this feature for so long. I've been calling for it quite literally since closed beta because I played a bunch of Atlas back then. And I always wanted to know how much damage I took before I went down. And 6 years later, you're finally getting it. At the end of the game, you're going to see how much damage you took.
I think I had to wait 6 more years for damage 2. So, like, let's say I shoot that person. Basically, I do like this. Like they have this in World of Tanks, but they have much better stats for it. Damage who you did to, like what you did to the other person, that kind of stuff, which is really cool. I love that idea because it actually helps your gameplay, figuring out, okay, well, I got to do this and this. This is what I'm doing this round, that type of stuff. And I like this. This is a really good bug fix or improvement for Mechwarrior Online, and I think they should expand on this.
Speaking of someone who usually likes playing in a sphere, it will help me go, haha, look, I'm helping the team by being shot a lot. Silly cladders, you took only like 50 damage before dying.
I may have exposed and died without doing any damage, but at least I twisted properly and I tanked a lot.
Yes. We'll give you also a hint for those players who get like caught in the back, like by one shot.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you only took that much damage. Like, whereas someone else, like, as I'm saying, my inner spear mech with armor quirks throughout was all over the place. It's like I lost an arm, another arm, the side torsos. They're shooting me through the sides. They destroyed one of the legs. I'm just a cripple before I go down. I'm like, I delayed them.
Yeah, so apparently there's no one more stat in which Bite is superior to everyone else, but
yeah. It might create some stall because people don't really understand how this works, basically how much damage it does and don't understand that kind of stuff. So, like, you only took 6 points of damage, you suck, that kind of thing. But yeah, but I got a headshot. What are you talking about? That might create some salt going on.
Yeah,
but
we're going to see.
Yeah, I do think it's good. I do think they should go around the World of Tank route where they tells you everything. You knocked off 6 arms, you knocked off a leg on this mech. That'd be awesome. I would love that.
I would kind of argue that point because PGI has not been that great at doing user interface stuff.
Yeah, well,
and if you give that kind of complex statistics in the end, it might just be complete overload for everyone involved.
The issue with this end of game screen is, of course, you're only there for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Before you're kicked back into the main menus, there isn't time to look into detailed stats. It would be cool if you could go back into previous games and look at the detailed stats, or even just replays. But that's a crazy dream far.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say, take a look at the way League of Legends does it. They have replays, which I don't necessarily need for Mechwarrior Online. That would be way overkill. But on their website, you can download detailed stats for a game you've played, which helps you a lot understand. Especially they've got stuff like they mark on the map where you died, at which point of the game, which is something I would kind of appreciate for Mechwarrior Online. But yeah, since we're dreaming, I would like stuff like that. But
still, for now at least, I think the damage taken, it's much more of an important stat to look at, of course, for the bigger mechs, assaults, heavies, etc. Because, well, A, they have bigger health pools, and B, when you're a light mech, if you take too bad of a hit, like a double heavy Gauss shot, you could just lose a leg or a side torso, and you're done at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So light mechs, damage taken isn't so important, though there are, of course, wolfhounds and urban mechs that can still look really good on the paper. But even then, even if there is an assault mech that takes a crazy amount of damage, it still doesn't give you that much of a picture. Like, there's still a question of where were they, why did they take so much damage? Sure, you roll damage well, but if you charged into the middle of the enemy team on your own and bought time for no benefit, then no matter how much damage you tank, it's pointless. But it will help you highlight which assault mechs did bugger all damage and took bugger all damage in kind before falling down.
Like
and those
snipers.
are the assaults, and those assaults are the ones who really let you down. It could very well be, but it's just there's plenty of assault mech pilots who just sort of waddle into combat, lose trades, and get called out really quickly, and you'll be able to see that they didn't do very much damage. They didn't take very much damage. It's just, you have extra confirmation that it wasn't just it wasn't they were ganged up upon by a team of light mechs. It was that they lost their trade really badly.
Yeah.
But yeah, as ever with damage dealt and kills, assists, and damage taken as well, it's only going to give you a vague indication of how well people have done on the battlefield.
And since we're talking about the potential negatives, I would also like to add that we have no idea how damage taken is actually being acquired.
Displayed, perhaps.
Well, displayed, but also acquired. For example, you die to double heavy gauss when you only had a single point of structures and it also remaining. Are you getting that 1 point of structure into your damage taken because at that point you're dead? Or is it counting the overkill, the additional 49 damage you can take?
There's also a damage reduction, where if you shoot through a destroyed side torso, the damage dealt to the center torso is reduced by 40%. That reduction is doubled if you shoot the arm stump, and it goes to the destroyed side torso and then hits the center torso. That's like a 50% reduction in total. It's 40% squared reduction, and that is a great way to tank for the team. But will that show up in the numbers? Will they calculate how much damage would have been done normally? I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. And also, of course, once you're dead, I've seen so many situations where a mech falls over dead, and half the enemy team shoots it again just to be sure. And stuff like that is obviously also not going to show up because at that point your entity is dead, and they're probably not going to take that.
It being PGI, there's still going to be some funny interactions. Like, here's the question with your overkill thing, right? I load my Atlas up with ammo in every slot, AC2 ammo, or ammo with the most damage per turn. I think like MRM ammo or rack ammo. And that blows up. Damage taken 10,000. Wow,
yeah, that was
really...
one of my first thoughts as well.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see, though.
So, yeah, it's a cool addition. We don't know too much. We're going to, again, have to see how it works out. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I've been asking for this for 6 years after all.
I want to see that. I want to see how it looks. So I'm kind of excited about this patch and last one where it really is like, hey, we fixed something. Like, okay, cool.
It's also just a question of looking at your own performance. That just more data is useful. So when you say, okay, when I'm in my Timberwolf, on average I take X amount of damage, but when I'm in my Orion, I take Y amount of damage. So you'll be able to compare your damage output and your damage received, and really be able to look much more in depth in how you perform in your mechs.
True.
And then you just need someone like Biter to babysit your board positioning, and you're gonna feel really bad.
Yeah.
100 GSP bundle for 1250 MC. Do you guys think that's worth it?
That's $7 basically.
That's basically $7 for 100 skill points. So master one mech for $7 after you bought a mech for.
Well, I mean, hell, people
30.
buy a refrigerator in Fallout 76 for $7. So I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, personally, I might consider it, but only because I've got so endless much strength from the Mechwarrior 5 pre-order.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds really weird. If I had to pay for it, I would not buy this bundle.
I mean, you get it for free. Basically in the events, they pretty much give out all the different things. You just got to play the game, and they give out almost everything for free. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
You can pay for convenience. Now, the thing is, we already have GSP bundles. Is this a better economy of scale? Is it worth buying this big bundle compared to the smaller bundles?
Good question. Let me look at that.
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I mean, personally, though, like $750, however much it is for that, I personally wouldn't, to tell you the truth. Because, just like I said, everything's for free. I mean, literally, PGI hands out free stuff like candy.
Oh, patch notes. We've got a couple more bug fixes, more order to see side torso weapon, stuff that's not really interesting, and those are the patch notes.
Yep, that was it. At least better than last time.
They're slim, but I think they're better than the past couple ones we've been getting.
Yeah.
There was some stuff that actually happened.
Yeah, it wasn't just, hey, we did a patch. Please download some files.
Automatically.
Something happened, I guess.
Little changes here and there. This
Yeah.
like last month.
But this is good though. It's going to increase faction play, so I'm happy. Good thing. I might actually start playing some faction stuff, depending on like it or not. I don't know.
Going for faction play for the event, get some
Yeah.
GSP and MC.
Yeah, this weekend I might be able to, but hopefully they have another event when the patch comes out about faction warfare. So hopefully they got another event coming out on Tuesday. That'd be really good if they did. Matt. Okay, so next is Kickstarter for Battletech from Kaz Games Labs. If you guys haven't done or haven't got this, I don't know where you guys have been, but they actually made the role-playing game for Mechwarrior, the role-playing game. So they just they pretty much made a game for it. Let me redo this.
Okay, Bob, gather yourself. I'm gonna give some really quick context.
Okay, go
If you've backed the Kickstarter at most levels, you're gonna get a free copy of the closed beta for the new Mechwarrior RPG. Keep in mind there already is a Mechwarrior RPG, which is really, really rule heavy.
Yeah.
So if that's your thing, go ahead and get a copy of the old RPG. The new RPG is going to be different in that it's really rule light, and it's mostly up to the player and the GM to make up their story, their characters, and so on. So just to give you a little bit of context, again, if you're part of the Kickstarter, you should have gotten an email with an update to a Dropbox link where you can get the PDF.
Yeah, the artwork is beautiful, like inside of it. I actually read it last night, and oh my god, the artwork's gorgeous. The rules are, just like you said, very, very light. Kind of like it uses something called the queue system, and it's where you pretty much you have a GM, but the GM only rolls like the bad guys. You have something called plot points, and plot points you could use to change the story. So let's say you're actually trying to break someone out of jail, and use a plot point to know one of the guards who will let you inside the jail to go ahead and help you break them out. So you actually have to narrate. The player has to narrate, saying, okay, well, I know this person, and here's what we're gonna do, and basically I'm gonna use a plot point for this. GM says, okay, fine. And then he takes that plot point for his own stuff against the players. So the NPCs can actually use plot points against the player characters, but it's all on what you want to go ahead and have designed for. It's all narrative, and so it's all, oh god, how do I put it? It's a very light system where everyone has fun describing what they're doing, and so it's not a structured game per se. It's more of a kind of a loose knit narrative game that you can make up whatever you want, and that's kind of cool. But it's for a lot of GMs who are structured and have a structured system. Like here's the corridor for this. It has a door 6. It has 2 goblins type things. It's not for that type of GM. It's for a GM that can really think on his feet and actually make stuff up. Not for every type of player as well, because a lot of players are more rule structured, and so it's not for that type of player. But it's really easy to get down to actually kind of like it's kind of like a theater group type thing, like an improv group, and that's what you got to do for it.
Yeah. Two things I would like to add. Even though it's real light, it's still a total of 236 pages. So just to warn you.
Yeah,
it's a heavy read. And one chapter that I really like, well, 2 chapters that I really like about this one is, first, they've got an appendix for the clan invasion. So the main RPG is set in 3025. But if you want to add clan stuff, they've got a couple of chapters for you to jump into the clan invasion era. Yeah. Which makes sense since it's part of the Kickstarter for the clan invasion. Yeah, and also, the chapter I really like is tabletop manipulations. So the rulebook features some kind of mech-on-mech combat, which Bob said earlier to me was based on the Alpha Strike rules.
Yeah.
However, you could just take the tabletop integration chapter and play classic Battletech as part of your RPG.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be stuck with it. Yeah. You don't have to be stuck with Alpha Strike, because a lot of people don't like Alpha Strike. Too basic, and so you could jump into Time of War if you wanted to, or jump into classic Battletech and go and use that type of system. And so it actually works out good. The only thing I have my reservations with is you really have to have a good group, because otherwise, I mean, I've been in some groups where it's like, okay, what now? What happens now? And so they don't really think of different characters and character concepts. It's really on what you want to play. If you want to play some dock worker that's on some dropship that acquires a light mech or something like that, you can make it. You can do anything you want, any type of character concept. The system, as far as weapon-wise, is okay. You have a needler pistol. So neither pistol. You want it to be so you have so it could actually go ahead and make people unconscious with a needle gun. Cool, you can do it. Just whatever you want.
I'm just gonna ask you real quick. How do you wanna make someone unconscious with a needle gun when you scrape off their whole face? And
scrap off what?
When you scrub up their whole face with the needle gun.
Well, that's just it. It's so out there as far as like the shotgun, right? You can make it so you have buckshot, so you make up your own rules for it on the spot. But you got to use plot points for it. So the shotgun can have dragon rounds, which fires a flamethrower round. You just got to make up like on the spot. So whatever you want to do for the gun, as long as you kind of like get with the GM and say, hey, this is what I want to do for my character concept, you can do it. It's very light, but it has a lot of more role-playing aspects to it. So when the players do play the game, it's good if you know a lot of the background, because you get more involved into your character itself. So it's an interesting concept. I hope it does good. The one example what I'm talking about is the equipment system. You could have up to 4 equipment or 2 equipment and whatever it is. I want my guy to have sunglasses and a neuro helmet. Okay, your guy has that, and there's no rules on it. You just have that. But that's the only 2 things you kind of own, or like a fancy dress or something like that. So it's really light on how they actually develop stuff, and not like I have my truck full of this. Here's the 90 items that I have inside my truck. It's not like that. You just have whatever you want, but you only have a limited amount of them. So like you have a spacesuit or something like that, spacesuit and a gun or 2, and that's pretty much about it.
And as usual, obviously, if you've got a good group, it's just the basic rule set. So if you want to change anything, make your own rules. That's totally your freedom.
Yeah.
Don't feel too bound by this. And speaking of making up rules real quick, you can, if you've got access to the closed beta PDF, you can officially give feedback until November 5th. So if you play the game to try it out, or if you just read through it and notice something that's kind of weird, you can give feedback to Killers Games.
That's what I did. I already sent six things in already.
Wow. All right then.
Well, I love the role-playing game, and I love GMing the role-playing game at cons. This I might not do at a con, depending, because it's really thinking on your feet, and like I'm more structure type GM, so it might be a little bit different for me. But I'll try it out with a group of whenever I get a group together, I'll try it out with them though. But it's cool. It's a good idea. It's very loose, so just be prepared for that, guys.
And again, the alt RPG is always an option if you want the real heavy stuff and read through. How many pages is it? Close to 1,000, right?
Oh god, Time of War is really big.
It's big though. Yeah.
I don't like Time of War because it's really rule heavy. The third one, the third edition is really good for kind of like a mixture of the two. Second edition is really light on rules, but it works a little bit better. And the first edition is obviously, no one plays that stuff anymore. But still, it's good they're doing this, and I love it. I love they're doing this. So it's different though, so I got to get used to it. Okay, so next I think we got the Humble Monthly.
Yeah, one final thing. I just received a mail today. Apparently Battletech, as well as the Battletech Flashpoint DLC and the Battletech Shadowhawk pack, are going to be part of the Humble Monthly pack. If you don't know Humble, it's a kind of game store where you pay money and decide whether you want to put that money to the developer, Humble store, or some kind of charity, which is, in my opinion, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we can basically say, I'm going to get this game at a discount mostly, and all of this money is going to charity X.
Yep.
And I think Humble is a cool idea. And you can get Battletech, Flashpoint, and the Shadowhawk pack for $12 if you subscribe to Humble monthly. Just remember to cancel your subscription next month. Otherwise, you're going to pay more. And yeah, $12 is a good price.
Oh, definitely.
So, just a quick shout out. If you want it, that's a good option.
Yep, a very good price, though you are, of course, missing out on Urban Warfare and upcoming heavy metal, which you'll have to pay for, presumably individually or by the season pass anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, you're paying $52 for everything, which is less than the game and the season pass on sale, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still a discount.
Yep.
And your money goes to charity if you want to.
Yeah. And that was the First Circuit Podcast episode number 99, 1000. And oh my god, I can't believe we went to 99 episodes. Man, I can't wait for episode 100, because we have a special guest coming for episode 100, and I hope you guys check this out. Tonight we had... What?
I'm sorry, I just want to say I have heard a certain hunch that episode 100 is going to be good.
Oh, it's going to be nice, actually.
It's just a tiny hunch. Not quite sure.
Special guest, Aethermech.
Aethermech, yes. Aethermech is coming on. Oh, no, special guest is Larsh. Larsh the Casual Mech Warrior. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thanks for everything. And special thanks to Biter, Ian, Larsh, and all the different hosts for the First Circuit Podcast. Yeah, you couldn't do without you guys. And I'm having a blast. A lot of work, but I still have a blast at doing the stuff that we do. So thank you very much, guys. Tonight's episode was hosted by Biter,
Blarg,
Ian,
Bye-bye.
and myself. Bye-bye. So see you guys later. Thank you.